or welcome back to Not Made. My name is Rachel and I am the creator of Not Made and a bunch of random crochet plushies and other crochet items. And I'm having a hard time with my phone being cooperative today. So it's trying to make me pay for stuff on Apple Pay and all kinds of things, just trying to get this video going. I don't even know what's going on. All right, so today is the video for day 8 of the Advent calendar by All from Jade, and so we're gonna get into that one. It was a little bit of a doozy, and I will talk more about that at the end. So without further ado, here's day 8 of Advent calendar.
So I put this clip in here because I wanted to kind of demonstrate the way that I do my starting round instead of using a magic ring. But this yarn was a little more difficult to work with than I was expecting it to be, because it is Posh, Big Twist Posh, but it just did not have the slide to it that most of the Big Twist have. It's just this color that I've got. I don't know if it's just this batch or why, but this definitely reacted more like a blanket yarn. You can see me kind of struggling with the tension, and also this is just so difficult to see anyway, but I'll explain a little bit. I usually do a chain 3 and then I will attach it back to the first chain and make a loop or a circle, and then I will do all of the single crochets that are called for in the magic ring into that circle. Also, I don't normally show myself doing crochet because, as you probably noticed, I definitely hold my yarn and my hook differently than most people do. So the thing that I can say it's most like would be a right-handed lefty. I don't know how I ended up with this technique, but I am self-taught. I taught myself over 20 years ago just using a how to crochet book from Walmart. So I just did the best I could at the time with the illustrations in the book to try to figure out how to do the techniques. And, you know, in the end, I end up with what I want. So it all works out.
Okay, we're back. All right, so that was all a little convoluted and kind of crazy. Hopefully you could see some of the stuff that was happening. I was trying for a different camera angle, and obviously my desk is just a wreck, but it doesn't really matter. It functions, okay? So here we have this little guy without the bee. I decided I didn't want to put the bee on his head, and that was just personal preference. So okay, first of all, it was a Sunday, and it took a very long time for me to get this guy done, not because of his pattern necessarily, but just because the day was busy. We attend church, and we also had a church business meeting, so a big chunk of my day was with that. So by the time I got back and was able to focus on getting the rest of him done, it had been a long day already. So anyway, all of that to say, this pattern took me longer than I anticipated, and there were some parts of it that I weren't super thrilled. I do not like this scarf, and I might just take it off and give him something else. I don't understand the scarf entirely. Like, if he's wearing like overalls with no shirt, why does he need a scarf? You know, I'm just a little confused about that. But without it, he does kind of look like he needs something on his neck. But I don't like this. I just don't. So I'm probably gonna take that off. I'm not a fan. And I didn't feel like making the bee after all of this. I've made plenty of bees, and I don't really think that he needs a bee on his head to be super cute. It is a cute pattern. I do love the way it turned out. I like the sparkle eyes that I picked for him. I messed it up a couple of times. Somehow I missed something, and I'm gonna have to go back and look at the pattern. I feel like I missed a increase row somewhere in here with the pants, because my stitch count was off by the time I got to the color change to go back to the teddy bear color. So something was weird there, and I did not have it in me to frog it all and fix it and go back and make it right. So I just rolled with it. The other thing is, she has you make the arms and sew them in after the fact, and I just try not to sew as much as possible. So I went ahead and looked forward in the pattern, and I made the arms, and then I just crocheted them in on the round that it was said to sew them. So for me, that made more sense. The ears are also sewed on, so I mean, it can be low sew. The only thing I really had to sew on was the head and the ears, which I just don't enjoy doing the sewing part, and that's fine. It's just part of some of these patterns. You have to sew pieces on. Other than that, I felt like the pattern was fairly easily written. I don't know where I missed. Okay, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna see where I messed up on the stitch count. Hang on. Okay. No. 36. Yeah. I just completely missed a row that had increases. So that's all there was to that. It was my bad. I don't know how that happened. Other than, you know, I just missed it because there's a lot of other words in that. So anyway, that's that. No big deal. He still turned out cute, and like I said, the only thing I really dislike about this is the scarf. I just don't understand it. It seems like it doesn't belong in the pattern, and if I were to make him again, instead of doing his little overall strap like this, I would do two, skip the scarf altogether, and just make it look like actual overalls. Sorry, there's fuzz flying, and I don't want it to go in my coffee. That would definitely be a tragedy. Okay, so that's this guy. Day 8, and I woke up extremely sore this morning, and I think it was because of sitting at this desk in this stool for so long working on this guy. So I am definitely going to pump the brakes a little bit on this challenge when there are bigger projects like this. I mean, obviously he's not huge, right? But it was a lot of more work than, let's say, you know, the little hermit crab or the love bug. So what I'm gonna do is still do a video each day of the challenge, but if I don't complete it I'm gonna be okay with that. All right, and then I can always show you guys the completed plushie on another video. I definitely am going to complete it, but I may not complete it every day on the day, because if it's bigger like this, and I don't know what's coming down the pipe with the advent calendar, but I just need to make sure that I can be okay. And my wrists were very, very sore all through the night. I was feeling that, and as someone who has suffered from repetitive stress injury in the past, that's not something I would like to re-experience. So I'm going to work on taking care of myself and not pushing it when it comes to that. This yarn I used is the Posh yarn, but this color for some reason has more of a blanket yarn texture. Isn't that strange how you can have the same brand of yarn and yet different colors in that yarn will act differently? Have any of you experienced that? Because I definitely have, and I don't think it's just my imagination. But yeah, this yarn was kind of grippy, more so than the other Posh yarns that I have. So that could be contributing to why my wrists were so fatigued by the end of the day. But all in all, I mean, honestly, can you go wrong with a little teddy bear like this in overalls? No, you absolutely cannot. It's an adorable pattern. And oh, who's it by? Bumblebee Crochet. It's by Bumblebee Crochet, and I feel like that's why there was a bumblebee on his head. Again, some of the pattern didn't make sense. Like, why do we have a bumblebee on our head? Why do we wear a scarf with our overalls and no shirt? I mean, it was just, I don't know, stylistically different. So I don't have there's no real pattern title for this guy, but if you go to her Instagram page, I'm assuming you can find it, because that's where I found it, I think. Pretty sure. So yeah, so check it out. It's actually a really great free pattern. I feel like most patterns like this would not be free, they would be paid. So for what it's worth, there's that. It definitely has that value. So yeah, check that out, and then come back tomorrow to see what is on for day 9 already in December. Can you believe this? Gotta get all of that shopping done because stuff is not gonna be delivered on time. All right, we'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.